Hi, I'm Jesse Grimes, and welcome back to the channel. Now in this video, I'm going to show you the concept plan for my ecological landscape design here in this backyard. The backyard is in suburban Orange County, Mediterranean climate, pretty typical quarter-acre lot and a small backyard. So I'm going to try to, my plan with this, as I said in earlier videos, is to try to show you that you can do a pretty normal looking landscape but apply some of the permaculture and ecological landscaping techniques to provide some ecological services as well. The main focus in this one is we're going to try to harvest a lot of the water off the roof of this house and soak that into the ground here on the site so it doesn't start contributing to things like stormwater overflow or basically end up out in the ocean. A lot of people in LA are aware of the big concreted river channels. The Santa Ana River, which is the closest one to here, it's pretty much completely concrete for a lot of its run. So we're going to try to take that water that would end up in that concrete channel and escape out to the ocean, and we're going to try to soak it into the ground here at this site so it can help recharge the shallow groundwater for the trees that are in this backyard, but also eventually maybe help recharge the groundwater here in this site. If everybody in this county, if everybody in the county was capturing water on their house sites, the groundwater table would be much higher. So let me show you the concept plan here on the computer, and I'll tell you more about it. So this is the concept plan I came up with. I like to do my designing in Adobe Illustrator. It provides a nice, simple, clean way of making nice, colorful maps. And what I should say is this is not a full design. It's not going to end up looking exactly like this. The way I like to do projects, I come up with the concept of what are the goals we're going to do, how are we going to accomplish those goals. But as I'm working on the project, new things come up, new changes happen, new ideas come in, and so it usually doesn't end up looking like it does in the original concept plan. But this is what I've got for this site, so let me show you what's going on here. Let me take away the colors or the plants so you can see a little bit easier, and some of the new structures. There we go. So I'm going to start with the water flow. As you can see, I've calculated the amount of water that's going to come off of each of these roofs, and what we're going to do with that water is soak it into different basins. So here you can see there's a big large basin here, another one right here, and then the water off this roof is going to go into that basin there as well. So what this is going to do is allow that water to sit in that basin and soak in, recharge the groundwater, like I was saying. In between these two basins, there's going to have to be some sort of either a tunnel or a low dip in the path to allow that water to flow over. Once these two fill up, it's going to flow out to this side. There's going to be another small basin right here, and then the water is going to leave the property there. And so we are going to be adding a few new structures to the backyard here, mainly these garden beds over here, as well as a couple little boxes around this fire pit area. And a lot of sort of hardscaping, but it's going to be permeable hardscaping. Instead of just laying out a concrete pad or some sort of concrete that wouldn't let water soak in, this is going to be permeable, so the water is going to soak in through the ground and where those pavers are at and be able to infiltrate there as well. So all these little kind of red tiles you see here, it might not be red tiles, it might be something else, but this little area around in front of what we call the art house, this garden shed over here, we're going to create a little patio there, and another kind of side area here, as well as this part right here, this part right here. All this is going to be gravel, just to kind of create a nice ground cover and make it look nice and be really low maintenance. So these garden beds right here, I've kind of got them visualized in 2 dimensions here, but I use a program called SketchUp for 3D animation. So that allowed me to sketch out these garden beds and work with the heights and see what kind of orientation I want to do, which ones would be higher than the others. And this is what I kind of settled on here. This one is about as high as the existing garden beds, these ones here, which is nice to work at, but when growing tomatoes, they ended up being too tall because the tomatoes are too high to reach. So we got some lower garden beds here as well. So I'll have to be building those out of wood, and they're going to set in there. Let me show you some of the plant ideas that we have here. So inside these basins, which are going to be collecting that water from the rain, we're going to plant a lot of the succulents that are in the pots right now. These large green circles here, these represent some jade plants. So we have a lot of jade plants. They're quite large. They're really hardy. They don't need to be watered at all. And they're really beautiful when they flower. So we're going to kind of use those to create a hedge here and kind of a frame around this blue circle here as a water feature. They want to have, the owner wants a water feature back here for the noise to kind of cover up some of the other noises. You might be able to hear the dog or construction next door. It's kind of a noisy neighborhood. So we're going to put a water feature in, cover a fountain to cover that up. And then all around that, we can kind of just do different layers of the succulents that we have to create a nice look. So we're going to do the same thing in this basin here, which is kind of an extension of that mound area over there. And then all on top of that is going to be flowering plants, pollinator plants, attractive insect attractant plants, which is also going to look really beautiful. So that's the basics of this concept design here. As I said, on this project I'm working by myself. I kind of have a lot of time to do it, so it's really nice. It gives me the freedom to just start working on it and tweak it here and there as I go. If it was kind of just like an install, a client's house, someone I didn't know, it would kind of have to be just like, this is what we're going to do, and install that. But usually I find that when I come into a project, it never ends up exactly how I had it on paper, because as you're working you end up finding new things, making observation. Observation is such a huge part of permaculture design. So as you make these observations, you end up making new connections that you didn't think of when you're making the design on paper, and it ends up working better for the overall design. So that's about it for this one. I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm planning to do back here and show you the basic concepts of what we're trying to do back here. Make some lower areas to catch that water, infiltrate it, and support the plants, and create a nice beautiful environment for the owner to hang out in back here. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you like my videos and you want to support, go out to patreon.com/JesseGrimes and become a patron. I'll see you in the next video.